I'm coming for a minute. Okay, so this is what Canva interface looks like. Can we all see my screen? Okay, so this is what the Canva interface looks like. So as I earlier said, we use Canva for a variety of things from the templates here. If you can see my cursor here, you can see that we can use it for presentations, posters, resume as well, invitation, variety of things, anything that has to do with design and visual communication. Canva is well. So I was going to show us the drag and drop that I was talking about. Let's see. So let's just simply customize these templates. Like I said, there's templates. If you do not want to start from scratch, you just simply go and then you customize the templates. So this is what the Canva workspace looks like. And I want you all to note that Canva is not about being artistic or being professional. It's all about understanding simple design rules and applying the simple design rules. So I talked about drag and drop. Now you can see this correctly. I can easily move from here, right? Easily move. So now if I want to add an element, I don't have to log off from Canva and go to Pinterest and start to search before the web page loads and everything, wasting of time. I can easily come here. Canva has elements. I hope we can all see what I'm doing. I'm paying attention. So we come here to elements. Maybe we want to add something here. For instance, I don't know. Let's say we want to add, I don't know, a picture of anything. Or let's say an apple. Let's try apple and see. Simply click on it and it appears here. You can just drop it, drag, drop it. Yes. And then with Canva, there's no need for you to install any heavy software. Canva, another advantage of Canva is Canva works on your mobile device. Corel Draw does not work on your mobile device. These other design softwares that we have do not work on your mobile device. And so in order for you to be creative, you're not limited. So with Canva, you can work anywhere. Right now, I'm using the Canva web. If you do not want to download it on your phone and you have your laptop, you just use the Canva web. Everything works perfectly well. Okay. Like I said, it works on almost any device. So let's go back to everywhere. As earlier I said, Canva is beginner friendly. You do not need a design degree. You don't need an expensive software or a laptop. A phone or a tablet works. And Canva has your templates, fonts, colors, and layout. Everything you need is just right here. You just drag and drop. Professional designers also use Canva. Yes, that's very correct. Okay, creating a Canva account. Now, creating a Canva account is very simple, and I'll walk you through on your mobile device. You can easily just go on your Play Store or your Apple Store and just type Canva. Or here, let me just show us how good. You can just simply type in here canva.com on your laptop. Typing Canva.com and that opens up. Network. Seeing that I already have an account, it's always going to come and redirect me back to my account. So I'll just quickly Let me just show you guys this instead. So from this slide, if you do not have a Canva account or you've not downloaded Canva, the first step is to go to my one to meet www. You can just type canva.com. Once you type Canva, it shows on your web browser. You download the app, then you sign up with your email. Once you sign up with your email, a code is going to be sent to your email, and then you put that code. Then you choose your preference if you want it for a personal purpose, for your business, or as a student as well. Yep. Now, going back here again, let's see some one or two things here. Now, Canva has various areas. If you can see me following my cursor, Canva has the home. So when you tap home, it brings you to your home page. And on your home page, you can find your recent designs. All your recent designs are there. So these are all my recent designs that are right here. And then your search bar. This is your search bar. Up here, as you can see, these are my designs. So if I want to search for my designs, I can just come here and search for any title of the designs that I have created before. And if I want a template, I'll just switch to templates and then type what I want. Maybe I want an invitation template. Let's see. Yeah, see, once you just start typing it, it shows you wedding invitation, birthday, or anything. So let's just look at a wedding invitation, what it looks like. Now you can see varieties of wedding invitations here, right? You don't have to stress yourself to design from scratch. But you may want to, if you want to have, there's a certain type of fulfillment you have when you design something yourself. You know, you're not copying someone else's concept. And even when you use someone's template, you should edit it. It shouldn't be like you just edited, remove their name. It's more like copy and paste. Just edit it. That's where creativity comes in as well. So you can see variety of designs here. You can just choose anyone you like and edit the templates. That's one. And then let me quickly show us the editors area. Yep. Let's just give it a few minutes to load in. It's few minutes. Yes, so it's here. So I'm just going to, in a few minutes, show you people how these things work. From here, if you can see what I'm doing here, I just want you to closely follow the cursor here. I can increase the size of this thing. Maybe I'm not seeing it as clearly as I want to. I'll just increase it to be very close, or just take it back. Yep, and that is it. And then if I want to duplicate this page, I highlight the page, or I can just come here. Sorry, I can just come here, duplicate the page. So there are two pages here. And then if I want to check out how many pages I have in my workspace, I'll simply come here. So I have two pages here. This is the grid view. So let's quickly move. So editing. So what we can find here, all the writings we are seeing here, we notice that there are different fonts here. And right now I'll be talking on some of the designs, the rule designs that we have. Yeah, we have designs. Sorry, we have rules in graphic designs. Permit me, please. We have, first of all, on a design, you shouldn't have more than 3 fonts. And this is the reason why. The whole thing will be scattered, very scattered. Now we are noticing that there's a consistency in the fonts that is used in this design. Okay. Now, let's take the first design rule we're going to be looking at here now is what we call alignments. Does anybody have any idea what alignment is? Not just in design. Like, can someone give us a definition of what alignment is, please? I'm waiting. Can everybody see the screen? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think a Zoom will do your, yeah. I think the screen needs to have its Zoom. Then we are all good.
Are we good
Yeah,
now? Can we
something
see?
like that. Yeah, something like
That's all
that.
right.
That's it.
All right. So, does someone have an idea on what alignment is? Not just in design, normal, context. What do you understand by alignment? Quickly. All right, Cycle. We can hear you. You can unmute your mic and tell us.
I would say alignment is like arranging items or objects in like a manner in which they match or have like a regular sequence.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Thank you. All right. Someone says, okay, let me read this one out. It says it is arranging things or objects in a perfect line or relative position. Yeah, that's perfect. I love that definition. So now, in the aspect of design, when we talk about alignments, okay, let me quickly say what an element is. Now, the things we are seeing on this, the items here are the elements. These flowers are elements. These things here, these are elements as well, and the things that we use on the design. Okay, now every element should line up intentionally. And if we can notice here, we notice that the flower on the left hand side is properly aligned with that on the right side hand side. And we check it, they are on a line, they are properly arranged. Are we together? All right. And another rule of alignment, you should avoid random placement. You don't just put anything anyhow. Let's say, for instance, I put this name here, I put this one here. It's ras, it's so disfigured. It does not pass any message. And when I started, I said the whole aim of design or graphic design is to communicate. So with this being like this, there's no clear communication. Are we together? So furthermore, for us to have proper alignment, we make use of Canva's purple line. I think we can see these lines we have here. These purple lines, yeah. These purple lines, yes. That's what helps us. And we can see from the purple lines, there are pink short dashes. They serve as rulers to help align. And now you see, when it's smashed at the midpoints, let's get that midpoints. That is where it's supposed to be. And that is, now this is properly aligned. The Sebastian aligns with the other name below it. So now I'm moving on to the second principle of design, spacing. Now, the first thing you need to notice about spacing is that you do not overcrowd your design. You don't just keep adding things. It's not the amount of things that's in a design that makes it look beautiful. It's about the details. The content in it is what makes sense. You don't have to align everything and just put everything there. Like now we notice from this design, the elements on this design, there are flowers up here and scrolling down. There are other flowers here, and then there's a ring here, which looks very much okay. But then someone deciding to go on, okay, it's an invitation. Okay, let's add the people's picture there. It's crowding the whole thing and just it's making everything looking scattered. And from what you can see, everything is aligned. We see that after the names, the wedding invitation, they have the names of the people here, the dates, and then a short quote there, then everything. So another rule of spacing is that you should leave space around text and images. If you can notice from this design, they didn't stack all the images in one place, they spaced them. So now imagine I just move this RSVP and put it here. Doesn't make any sense. it's looking very, very choked up already. So that's why there is sufficient spacing so that the reader or the person viewing it can breathe. They read one place, they can easily move to the next so it doesn't get all jumbled up in their head. Like earlier I said, space helps design breathe. So that's one thing you can pinpoint there. Space helps design breathe. If you don't remember anything about spacing, just remember that it helps the design breathe. And then it helps the person that is looking at the design. So it's not harmful to their eyes. Are we together? So we're moving on to the third aspect of this design principles, right? Though there are other design principles, but these are the four most important design principles that I've been sharing with you guys. The third one is consistency. When I started talking about this, I said something about not using more than 3 fonts. 1 to 2 fonts is okay. That is what we call maintaining consistency here. Then sticking to a color palette. Now, the colors we are looking at here, we're looking at gold, we're looking at white, we're looking at black. So imagine the designer, let me even show you what I'm saying. Let's not be as if I'm just saying things. Imagine the designer decides to put blue. How does that look? Or come here, put pink. It looks so disgusting already in the eyes, I'll be honest. That is why in a design, we don't use more than 2 colors or 2 fonts. And the colors we are using have to complement each other. Gold, black, and white. Next, keep styles in uniform. Now, talking about color palettes, when you come here, you can see the color and the ingredients, but we'll talk more on this later. Now, one thing you need to note about consistency is that consistency builds trust and professionalism. Now, imagine someone asks me to design a wedding invitation for them and I just do this and go and give it to them. How would that look? Doesn't speak anything about professionalism or anything like that. Yes, so let's put this thing back. Exactly. It looks proper now. Now, moving forward, working with texts. Now, Canva has its own text tools. Yeah. Here. Okay, someone is asking a question. He says, if you put more than 3 fonts, what will happen? If you put more than 3 fonts, the design will look jumbled up. It will not look pleasing to the eyes. In fact, it's going to choke the person that is looking at the design. Any design that has too much fonts, too much colors will not be pleasing to look at. Does that answer your question, Emmanuel? So working with text with Canva, Canva has different text sizes, text styles rather. There's the heading, there's the subheading, and then there's the body text. Now, body text is for short notes like paragraphing. Here where we saw we're using, I will marry my best friend, the person with whom I laugh, live, dream, and love. This is the brand text. This is a paragraph text. These add a little bit of body text that I just imported here now. Was what was used to type in this I will marry my best friend. What happened was that you just reduced the size of the design. Reduce the size of the fonts, okay? Then we have a heading, and that would be for the names here. I think that was what was used. Heading is for the main, like now, save the date is the heading of this design. So they'll use the heading and then they'll reduce it to an appropriate size that fits into the design. And that is the basics about that. So moving forward, I would just like to give us some few tips on these aspects. Avoid decorative fonts for long texts. For instance, now, this I will marry my best friend text we're looking at here, right? Imagine that I had used this Sebastian, the names of these people here. This is the decorative font, right? Imagine I had used it here, it wouldn't sit well with the design. So the first thing you should avoid is that avoid using decorative. If you're using decorative font, it should be for very short text, like the names of these people, for instance. Another thing you should note, do not stretch your text manually. If you want to increase the size of this text, example, I want to increase the size of save the dates. I can just, this plus sign here is used to increase the font size and choose to increase it like this. It's easier. And then I'll now align it very much better. So I think this was on 9.9. Let's take it back. Let me show you what I mean by stretching. So now imagine I just now decide to do like this, like this. So the right thing to do is to get the exact font. Because for instance, now this save the date, maybe I want to use this particular size of text in another place. What do? I'll simply duplicate because I actually know the size here. But when I don't know the size, I would have to be going backwards and backwards again. So another thing is that if you use the bold sign for emphasis, well, this is the bold sign, but it seems that it is not available for this design. I think it was disabled by the owner of these templates or something. So yes, if you want to use the bold is for, let me show us a simple example. Let me get one example for that. Just give me a minute. Let me show you guys a sample of a design that uses the bold. Sorry, the design is still loading. Just give us a few minutes. All right. Now this is design. Looks a bit jumbled up. Now let's just write in a text, then I'll show you the bold stuff. Let's start in FrostForge. This is on bold, so I'll take it off. Now, if you can see clearly, this FrostForge I wrote right here now is not on bold. And then if you can see from the header of this flyer, or the title of this flyer is bold, because that's the main thing you want people to see. Now, when you have a design, when you see a flyer or you see a banner, the first thing that comes to your mind, most times the text is the boldest thing you find there. And so that's the first thing that you are meant to see when you come to the design. And then after that, you begin to see every other thing that's there. Now, talking about templates. Templates are learning tools, not shortcuts. I want you to note that down. From templates, one thing you should understand is to study layouts and spacing. Before you eventually start designing yourself, you study the layouts, how they are arranging everything, spacing. 2, you change colors and text. That's what happens from templates. And then you learn the structure. So one thing you should not do is you should not over edit randomly. You shouldn't just be adding elements and just, juggling up the whole design. You shouldn't over edit. From that template, we are working on this. No, that's not what we're working on. Since it's lost, let's just leave this now. And from this template, I can simply just edit colors, spacing, and the background. But I shouldn't over edit. If not, it just messes up the whole design. Secondly, you should not mix multiple templates in one design. For example, this is the New Year design. It's beautiful, and you realize that the other design we are looking at was a wedding flyer design. So because earlier I said it's not the amount of things you pour in the workspace that makes the design good. It's about paying attention to the details of the design. Are we together? All right. So now briefly, I'll be talking about building design confidence before we wrap up. Now, design confidence comes from practice, not perfection. One thing about design is the more you practice, the more you get familiar with how these things work. The way we always hear they say practice makes perfect. The more you practice, you don't just expect overnight. Like, we not expect after this 1 week you become an expert in design. You have to keep looking at other people's design, looking at the principles of design. Number two, learning how to replicate designs. For example, I see a design that I like anywhere. Maybe I'm scrolling through Instagram, I see a very beautiful design. I say, oh, let me try and see how this person did this thing. Replicating design is also another way that we can learn how to design better. Number two, on building design confidence, you understand the rules before you break them. I spoke about the fonts, and someone asked what happens if you use more than 2 fonts, more than 3 fonts. As we move on and as we are designing, when you use more than 2 fonts and more than 3 fonts, you see how it looks like. And then when you use just 2 fonts, you see how it looks like. That is understanding the basic design rules, the rules of hierarchy, knowing that the title of a design comes first, then other texts as well as images as well. And another way you can build your design confidence and you become better as design is you accept criticism. Yes, you accept feedback. You design, you show somebody, the person asks, you ask the person, how does this design look? Person like, and then you don't become angry just because the person says this design is not good enough, or there's a little mistake, adjust this thing like this, move that thing like that. Are we together? So one important thing we all need to note is that you should always accept feedback. Even as a professional designer, when you become a professional designer, you should also and you always accept feedback. So far, as we've moved through the Canva dashboard, I've shown us the home page, I've shown us the search bar, I've shown us templates, I've shown us recent designs, but I've not shown us how to create a design button. So we're going to go there now. All right, here we are. So now if I want to create a new design, I don't want to use anybody's templates. This is what I'll do. From here, I can choose to go to social media and tap there. So from social media here, you can notice that, if you can all see my screen clearly, that there are different sizes of designs. Yes, there are different sizes of designs here. For an Instagram post, for an Instagram story, there's also a different type of design so that your design comes out well. For YouTube shorts, Facebook cover photo, as well as YouTube thumbnail as well. So you can just choose whichever one you want to use. But if you feel that it's not okay for you, you can now come and create your own custom size, the size of the design that you want. So the size units are usually in pixel. You can decide to use inches, but the standard one is in pixel. And you can just, if you're not sure of the size of what you want, that is why you have Google, we have ChatGPT. You can just go and tell ChatGPT, I want to create a design like this. Maybe I want to create a banner or a flyer. What's the appropriate size to use? And when ChatGPT gives you that, you just come and you put it here and then you create a design. So let me just, let's, using that social media, yeah, that we used earlier, just go to Instagram post. And there you are. You have a blank page to work on. But we'll be doing more of this next time, creating a design from scratch. We're going to be doing that next time. So that is all I have for us today. I'm coming. Yep. So lastly, before we close for the day, what makes a design look good? I talked about alignments, spacing, few colors, and a clear message. If you're passing a message to a group of people, it should be clear because not everybody has the time to start assuming what you are passing across. You have to be direct with your English, with the things you're putting in that design so that people understand. So the first point here is that in Canva, use the position tool to align left, right, or center. We'll work more on the position tool later. Then simple designs are more effective than complicated ones. Yes, I made mention of not having to put everything in one design. Then another thing is that designers do not guess placement. They align elements properly. And what else? Designers space elements evenly. So that's all we have for today. Now you all can start sending your questions across right now. You can start sending your questions across right now. I'm waiting. And if you don't have any questions, me, I have questions for you guys.
So you said there's a specific. Sorry.
Sorry?
You said there's a specific size for each social media platform.
Exactly.
So what if I want to post it on all of them? Like I want to post on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The same
Okay, that's
design.
it. Yes, yes. Okay. Let's just give me a minute. Let me share my screen again with you guys.
Okay.
Let me show you what first for this Instagram post. Let's do this share. Okay, so now from this design, that's why I say Canva is one of the most amazing softwares for design that you're gonna be using. Now, this design I can resize it, but this resizing, okay, this resizing is not for a free account. You'd have to upgrade to a pro subscription of Canva to resize. So now, because I want to post it on different platforms, as you can see, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Instagram story. So I can decide to resize it to a Facebook post, right? I can decide to just resize the design, or I leave this design and then another page resizes. So let's just copy and resize. It may take a bit of a time, but it's going to be done. Just wait a minute. So you use the resizing feature to resize your design to whichever social media platform you like. Twitter, open it. So can we see now? Can you see the screen? Joy, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can. I can see. I can see the screen.
And
Yes, we can hear
any
you.
problem? Yeah, were you seeing the screen? I think my network just
Yes, we can see the screen.
Yes, so you see that there is the size for the Facebook now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so the simple feature you do is just resizing. Do you have any other questions? I have to send
Thank
in
you.
your questions immediately because my system is about to run down. Do we have any other questions? Okay, so before the end of the day, I shared a link across the group to join the Google Classroom. Yes, and I noticed some people have joined, not all. So please, everybody should endeavor to join the classroom, please, because we are not just playing here. After this, we're going to be having assessment. So you're going to be having a test, sorry, a task to perform. From what we have done today, you just sign in there and just do that thing. It's very simple. If we are all paying attention, it's simple, and that's just basically it. Are we together? Can we hear me? All right. So that's all we have for today. So if you have any questions at all, you just reach out to me on WhatsApp DM, or you can just paste your questions in the group chat. The recording for the classes are going to be available. They're going to share a link if you just want to go back to the class and just, remember everything that we said. Abby? So you just go back. I'm going to share the link for the recording of the classes, and then all the slides that were used are going to be shared as well. There's also a textbook, an ebook that's available for these sessions. I'm going to also share that today on Fadini as well. So the tax is going to be dropped today. Tomorrow we will not be having any session. We resume on Wednesday. So you use tomorrow to do your tax and submit it on the Google Classroom. Is everybody clear on that? All right. So we're going to have to call it a day. Thank everybody for being here. We had an amazing time. I'm sure you learned a thing or two, right? Yeah, sure. All right. So we'll be closing up now. Like I said, my system is about to go down. So we're closing up and we tried our best. We did keep up to time. We told you from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and we are right on time. Okay, the tax. Once you sign into the Google Classroom, Emmanuel, are you on the group chat? The WhatsApp group chat for FrostForge? If you're on the group chat, the link will be shared again for the classroom. That's where you access. Yes. So the link to the classroom will be shared. You join the classroom and that's where you find all your tasks. Thank everybody for being here and have an amazing day ahead of you and amazing tomorrow too. Have any problem, any questions, anything, you can just come to my DM and just dish out your complaints there. Have a nice day, everybody. Bye and stay safe. Peace out. Bye bye.